Hey y'all, hey, I'm back with another video. So, sorry about like the lighting. The sun is just like directly like right here. There's nothing that I can do. I tried to move my shit over like 15 times. Yeah, it's whatever. Natural light. Anyway, so here for another thing of what are we talking about? So there's a lot going on, but not a lot going on at the same time. I feel like it's always like real quiet for like 2 weeks, and then a lot of nonsense happens back to 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 back. And so I feel like with everything that's going on right now, give it another like 2 weeks, everything will calm down, then something crazy will happen. Want to touch on a few things. First, I want to say this. I will be reacting to Cardi B's album Am I the Drama. Now, I was gonna live stream it, but I'm not sure exactly how that's gonna work. So I'm just gonna record my reaction and then I'm gonna put it up. Now, you're probably gonna see that reaction go up and go down and go up and go down because it's all about how Atlantic wanna play with me. If Atlantic wanna flag my ish and pull it and copyright me, then there's nothing that I can really do there. But depending on exactly how it happens when I upload it, I may just drop a Patreon link for you guys so that you can watch it over there for free. But speaking of Cardi B, obviously her album comes out tonight. Right now it's Thursday, September 18th. It's like 4 o'clock, 3:51. But yeah, her album drops at midnight. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm acting like I got anxiety for Cardi, like it's my album that's dropping. I'm excited for her because this has to be really exciting to like drop like a whole body of work after 7 years. But it's also probably extremely terrifying. And I guess my anxiety is high for her because she's done a lot of interviews, as we'll talk about. But one of the things that she said is that like it really hurts her down to her core when people don't like her music. And so I don't really know. I'm trying to think of my personal, because I can't speak about what everybody else's expectations is. My personal expectation from this album, I don't really give a shit about the numbers. Cardi is gonna do numbers. It is what it is. My expectation of this album, it seems to me, if I'm listening to the interviews that she's done, that number one, it's gonna be similar to Invasion of Privacy in the sense of there's gonna be a lot of different like genres. There we go, genres. It seems like she's gonna touch on. I also, it seems like she's gonna get a little bit personal on this. So my expectation is not really an Invasion of Privacy 2. It's just more so to see. I don't even really know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really know what my expectations of. I don't even know if I really have expectations of this album. I'm just ready to see like how it sounds. I'm ready to see, is it good? I don't expect this album to be Invasion of Privacy, and I don't expect it to be like some type of classic. I hope it to be a solid project with some pop songs, with some shaking ass songs, with some sad songs. I would like a gumbo from Cardi, similar to Invasion of Privacy in that sense. That's the only thing I'm saying. I just want a gumbo of genres for her and her doing it really, really well. So, really excited about that. So, she also announced that she's going on what she's calling the Little Miss Drama Tour. It's the first time that Cardi has ever gone on like a tour. Like, the last time I think I knew Cardi was on tour, I think I was like fresh out of college. And she came out here in Pittsburgh and like performed at like this real small like little club or whatever. But outside of that, Cardi has never toured. She's like, done festivals and things like that, but never a full-fledged tour. So she put out the dates for the tour and I said, yes ma'am, clock it. At this point I might as well like get a hotel in DC in the sense of like and just run my points up there, because at this point DC is my concert place only because DC is only like 3 hours away from Pittsburgh as far as a drive. So it's I could literally make it a whole 1-day trip if I want to. But I went to go see Beyonce in DC. I'm going to go see Chris Brown and on October 8th in DC. And when her ass come around DC, I think it's like April 6th or whatever of next year, I'll be taking my ass on down there. I'm absolutely going to the Cardi tour. Are you insane? I didn't get to go to the Nicki tour that was here last September because I just wanted my sister to go and I wanted my cousin to go. Like, they never been to a concert, period. So I wanted them to have that experience. But no, I'm definitely going. I'm going to bring my sister, but I'm going to go to the damn Cardi B tour. So when she announced her tour, right, her very first date is in February. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, because I'm trying to like put the math together about whether or not she's pregnant. I'm like, well, if Cardi is pregnant, that means she's pretty far along. She's probably about to drop the baby like real soon, like before the end of the year. And then she's probably just going to hit it. Now, again, that was my thinking if she was pregnant. Then the day after, like this has been a week for her. Every day she been dropping something. And she also dropped like the features that's going to be on her album, which we'll talk about the track list in a second. But she then did an interview with Gayle King. And Gayle King was like, you know, you have some news that you want to say. And she says, yes, that I am indeed pregnant. Me and my boyfriend, Stephon Diggs, we are having a child together or whatever. Again, not surprised. Not surprised. I wasn't really sure if she was telling the truth. I mean, if she was pregnant or not. But again, like, I knew the minute that she, like, said it, like, the outrage that was going to be online. And I just want to say that, I would say a couple things. Number one, because y'all know I'm always on black women's side. Every time, 10 times, I go hard for us. But sometimes I feel as if there are certain, I'm not going to call out names, but I feel like there are certain content creators, social media influencers, whatever, specifically within like the black space, where their thing is, you know, like political, like not necessarily political, but you know, they're like about the rights of, you know, black people and stuff. I feel like sometimes, not all, sometimes some of those people use like their quote unquote brand of protecting black women to jump on to every little single thing to try to make it seem like it's against black women, if that makes sense. So for example, I'm not going to say any names, but there's somebody on Twitter who's really, really big. She has a big following. And when everything happened with Cardi, she said pretty much like, oh, we not saying anything about Cardi because of, oh, like how she looks or whatever, but let it have been Sierra or Flo Milli or Sexy Red and everybody would be dragging them. And I'm confused because I'm like, okay, what you're trying to say is that Cardi is not getting criticism because she is a light-skinned woman. And all of these other women are because, you know, they're black or whatever, and Cardi's not black or however it is that you identify Cardi to be. But my whole thing is, that didn't make any sense to me because Cardi at that time and now is still getting drug online. She's being called stupid, ghetto, ratchet, hood, bad pum pum management, all of that. So, and I saw a couple people do the y'all only defending Cardi because she's light skinned. What are you talking about? There are always going to be people that defend a celebrity. Period. Now, it's one thing if when she announced her pregnancy, nobody said anything at all. Everybody was like, oh, well, you know, congratulations. Although that is how it should be. But she got criticized very much so, and she still is. It only happened the other day. So that really threw me off. But all of that to say is that, as I said in my last video, like, congratulations to her. Now, would I personally do that? No. And for me, it has nothing to do with whether or not, like, she's still married with this man, because she's not with this man. You got to remember, my grandparents on my mom's side, they got married or whatever. When my mom was 2, they broke up, not divorced, like broke up. And he went and lived in one state and she stayed her ass in New York. And they stayed legally married to the day that he passed away, which was a few years ago. Mind you, that whole time, like I said, my grandma was living in New York. My grandfather was living where he was living at. They was both dating separate people. But on paper, they was married. They just never felt like actually going through the paperwork. So again, that whole they're married, that means nothing to me. Y'all are not together. Y'all are in the middle of a divorce. That I don't care about that part. My only thing is, as somebody that has a 2-year-old or about a almost 2-year-old, so I just was pregnant not that damn long ago, I could not imagine doing that back to back like that. And that's not just a Cardi thing, that's a in general thing. Like when I see women that are pregnant and they have very, very young infants, like 1-year-old, 2-year-olds, I'll be like, how, Sway? Because first of all, your body, that's my concern for Cardi. That's where I'm like, girl, you better than me. Because ain't no way that right after having a baby, like how much your body goes through and the recovery that you have to go through for that, for you to get pregnant right over, like again, you didn't give your time, you didn't give your body to me enough time to like really fully heal and get back to where it needs to. When I gave birth to my daughter, and I'm not exaggerating, after I gave birth to her, I was wondering like why I was having a hard time sitting down. Now I'm thinking because it's my first child that maybe, maybe that's just how it is. Maybe it's just hard to sit down for the first couple, like days or whatever. And after a few weeks, and it kept happening, I could not sit down and hold my baby. It was the most frustrating thing in the world. I go to the doctor. You want to know what they told me? That when I gave birth, my daughter popped my damn tailbone out of place. My whole tailbone was popped out of place because I gave birth. And my tailbone, and first of all, I had to go to physical therapy for that. I couldn't sit down comfortably for at least 6 months after I gave birth. Now, I'm not saying that that's her, but that's just one of the many things that you got to go through after you give birth. So all of that to say is, I'm more so like, are you even able to handle all of that? Like, that's a lot is what I'm saying. It's a lot. Now, granted, from the working standpoint, I'm not really like that concerned because, like, unfortunately, at least here in America, most women, you only get 6 weeks of maternity leave before you gotta bring your ass back to work. Now, thankfully, I got a decent job, so I had 3 months off paid when I had my baby. But most places it's 6 weeks, so she can absolutely have her baby and hit it immediately. Absolutely. So, and I also think that the tour will probably be really good for her, possibly, like just from like a physical standpoint on trying to be fit. It could also potentially, and this is where it's a little tricky, right? Because you're also going to be dealing with postpartum at the same time. So it's like either it can really, really help her, like be positive, or it could like send her into a tailspin, which we all know that Cardi could do. But either way, congratulations. Like I said online, all of these people was pissed online about this shit. Y'all don't have to raise Bel Khalif's kids. Why are y'all so pressed about somebody's kids that y'all don't have to raise, that y'all don't have to feed, that y'all don't have to clothe? Yes, like I said, is it bad poom management? Absolutely. Absolutely bad poom management. However, what the fuck do that got to do with me going to that tour? What the fuck do that got to do with me listening to this album? Now, what I will say is I would have dragged her if she got pregnant and pushed all of this shit back. That's what would piss me off, because I stand 10 toes in my theory that Offset was purposefully getting Cardi pregnant so that she wouldn't be able to put out an album. I stand on that, and I already did a whole video on why I think that. And when Cardi said, I think in her interview with Gayle King, that after WAP had came out, people were saying that she should have put out an album or whatever, and she really tried to work on something, but she was just so sad. And she said, I'm the type of person that when I'm upset and I'm sad, I cannot work on music. I'll go on a hole. And Offset, that being his wife, he knows that about her. You can't convince me that Offset was not, again, I know that Cardi's a willing participant, but you cannot tell me that Offset was not purposefully like knocking her up and doing all this shit so that she wouldn't put out this album. I'm sorry. You can't tell me no fucking different. So then, a couple of hours ago, she actually dropped 2 things. So she dropped a little quick 5-second teaser of, I think the song is called, hold on, because I have it up. The song is called, back up out of here. But Kalani, where's that? Safe. She has like a 5-second teaser of a video with her and Kalani called Safe. It's like, come on, give me Ring 2.0. Ring, 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 ring. You don't hit my line no more. You don't me. I can't keep this on the low. I want you to make it me. Should I call first? I can't decide. I want to, but a bitch got pride. That album is a classic. Damn it, that's a good fucking album, Melcalese. What an album. So let's go through the track list. So we got the first song is Dead featuring Summer Walker. I love it. Yes, please give me it. I know I'm going just off of the intro, but Dead as the opening track, given everything that she got going on, I want to hear it. Then we got Hello. Then we have Magnet, which she said is a Scorpio song. Shout out to the Scorpios. You got Pick It Up with Selena Gomez. I would assume that's going to be a pop record. Imaginary Players, we know that. Bodega Baddie is the clip that if you're on TikTok, you've heard that. That's probably going to be her like, I like it thing. Then you have Salute. Now, in her interview with Gayle King, with Kelly Rowland, Kelly asked how does she pick her songs? Like, does she just listen to beats? Does do A&R send things to her? She said a little bit of both, but I remember specifically about this song, she said that 2 Chainz had came to the studio or whatever and played her a song called Salute. And she really liked this song a lot, like the bop to it, the attitude. And she was like, no, I want that song. So she was like, I pretty much kept the beat. I kept the vibe of the song, but I took out the verses or whatever. So I'm interested in hearing that. Then obviously, like I said, Safe with Kalani. Man of Your Word. Gayle King quoted some of the lines off of that. I can't wait. I can't wait for her to drag this. I cannot wait for Offset to be upset. Can't wait. Then we have What's Going On featuring Lizzo. That's probably another little pop. Well, I don't know if that would be poppy because Lizzo recently has been more in like her trap bag. So I don't know. Then we have Shower Tears featuring Summer Walker. Again, I know I'm going to like that. Outside, obviously, Pretty and Petty. I'm probably going to love that. Better Than You, Cash Cobain. Y'all know I like Cash Cobain. What is it? On My Back featuring, I can't say what that person's name is. 16, Time. 17, Check Please. Principal, Janet Jackson, featuring Janet Jackson. So I'm wondering, is it more so because she's sampling the Pleasure Principle? Or is Janet Jackson, or is it both? Is it both? Because we know that Janet Jackson likes Cardi B a lot. Then we have 19 Trophies, 20 Nice Guy featuring Tyler, 21 Killing You Hoes. You see the outfit, bitch, and killing you hoes. Cute face and ass, so killing you hoes. I got the best pussy out, I'm killing you hoes. And ain't nothing you can do about it, killing you hoes. Shout out to Trina. And then you have Up and then WAP. Now, the only thing I'm disappointed in within this track list is that I was hoping that her and Meg would have a song together outside of, like WAP. Hold on. Sorry about that. I was hoping that her and Meg would have a song with each other, like I said, outside of WAP. But, it is what it is. Regardless, I'm interested. Can't wait. Like I said, I'm going to be reacting to it tonight. It will be up sometime tomorrow morning. I'm going to record tonight, edit tomorrow morning, put it up. Really excited. Let's move on. Next thing to talk about. The Dame Dash interview. Baby, when I'm telling you, I really do just be minding my business when shit like this come across my damn timeline and my desk. It's like absolutely ridiculous. I saw somebody repost and they was like, this might be the craziest Dame Dash interview I've seen in a while. And it was Dame Dash and Charlamagne, like a clip of them going back and forth. So I go over to the thing or whatever, right? I would love to see actually right now how many views that actually has. Because the last time I looked at it, it was yesterday. And I think it was like, that was only like 24 hours. And I think it had like 1.9 million views literally in the first like 24 damn hours. What does it say here? 2.3 million in 2 days. Yeah, exactly. So, I don't even know. It'd be so much like nigga going on that I really can't keep up. I think all of this started because Dame Dash is going back and forth with 50 Cent and Cam. Then 50 Cent and Cam bought like Paid in Full and made an announcement about how they're gonna do a Paid in Full, I guess, I don't know, universe or something. And Then Cam and Dame started going back and forth, and Dame and 50 Cent started going back and forth, and you're broke, and you're broke, and you're this, and you're this. So Dame pretty much came up on the Breakfast Club, to me, similar to what he did last time, which is to come up there and try to, like, clown everybody, but this time it didn't really work. Came up there and was like, how you guys saying that I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke? This is my thing. Do I think that Dame Dash is, like, broke, like our version of broke? No. But I think Dame Dash is broke in the sense of he wasn't where he once was. That's where I think, like, maybe the confusion is coming in, because he's saying, it sounds to me like he's saying, does it seem like I'm broke? Like, I got $180 million loan. Do you think you're broke if you get that? Well, I don't know. It depends. And that's true. It does depend. I think what he was trying to say is that, like, people got to feel like you can give that back to them, whenever you get a loan. Again, I think that Dame Dash is not, like, broke in the sense of our versions of broke. I think he's broke in the sense of he didn't have what he had at one point in time. I think that he has a hard time, accepting, like Charlamagne said, accepting the fact that you was at one point in time here and you are no longer there. And not only that, but it grinds your gears. It grinds your gears. That actually this Creole lady right here, that this Creole lady husband and baby daddy is doing what he's doing, which is very well in life. That bothers you to your soul, that not only that you're not doing well, but that he's doing so well, which is why you constantly bring up his name. Now, to be fair, in the whole Dame and Jay-Z thing, from my understanding, the only thing I'm on Dame's side about that he has ever had a problem with Jay-Z about is the album, is everything that went around the album Reasonable Doubt. I think personally that it was unfair for Jay to feel like Dame should have no type of parts or no, like, profit off of Reasonable Doubt. I say that because Reasonable Doubt was actually, now all of the albums obviously Dame helped with, but Reasonable Doubt for sure was the first album that it was just Dame, Big, and Jay and their little crew or whatever running that shit up. So that's the only thing that I, like, agree with Dame on, is that I don't think that it was right for Jay to be like, no, you shouldn't have no parts of Reasonable Doubt. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. But everything else, kicking you out, or not kicking you out, but pretty much, like, exiting him, like, making his move, like, slowly away from you, is because it's clear the way that you handle yourself versus the way that he handled himself. Now, again, I'm not bringing this up to say that they was right or anything, but if we want to bring up the whole, Beyonce and Jay-Z was sitting at the table with the Ivanka Trump or whatever, let me tell you the difference. You see how Beyonce and Jay-Z sat their asses there and then probably went home and rolled their eyes? Dame Dash probably would have did what y'all wanted him to do, which is flip the whole freaking table and go crazy. And that's not where Jay was. Jay couldn't get to where he was if he had Dame next to him. Look at how he acts. He's still very immature. He's still one of those, like, he's one of those men that, it's weird that he kept calling Charlamagne gay, but you're one of those men that really care about what other men think about you. That's why it's, oh, well, how big is this and how big is that and what you got this and what you got that and what you got that. You're so concerned about what other people think about you, specifically what other men think about you. And I just don't think that he likes the fact, again, that he's not where he was at one point in time. So Charlamagne was in rare form. That he was like old Charlamagne, like 2012 Charlamagne type shit. Like, no, 2012? Yeah, like 2012, 2013 Charlamagne. So it was really, really funny. But what am I supposed to say? Dame is a joke. But you want to know the crazy part about it? This is the only thing that I don't like about this whole thing. Not the Breakfast Club thing, but I agree with Dame when he said, like, pretty much like y'all kind of pick and choose who y'all think is goofy and who y'all don't. 50 Cent, Cameron, and Dame are not that much different. They're actually more alike than different. The biggest difference between all three is literally just the amount of money that they each have. But as far as the way that they behave, talk, and act, it's all the same. So that's why I do kind of agree. It's like, y'all niggas pick and choose, like, who it's cool to make fun of and who it's not. The more money, which is why Dame is upset, because it's like the more money you have, the less likely that people are to call you out for nonsense, because there's no way that out of all three of those people, we're only picking on Dame. All of these niggas is childish. All of them act like fucking kids. All three of them. All three of y'all. All three of y'all. Shout out to Birdman. So moving kind of on within the same Rockefeller vein, moving on to Cam and Adrian Bronner in a Stat Baby situation. So I do watch It Is What It Is. They're not all the time. It just kind of depends on what's going on. I do find them to be funny. I think Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, is so damn beautiful. Like, I understand she's a beautiful woman, you know, young woman, but she's, you know, there to do a job. So Adrian Bronner came through or whatever to do an interview, and throughout the entire interview, or like the pieces that we see, he just keeps referencing like, oh, Stat, you're so beautiful. Oh, Stat, you're so this. And at first she was like, okay, because I think the clip that I saw, which was the extended one, was him saying like, oh, you're so much more beautiful in person. You're so much more beautiful in person. And she was like, so what are you trying to say? Like I was not beautiful like in pictures? And he was like, well, no. She was like, okay, that's just like a weird thing to keep saying. If I'm pretty, I'm pretty. If I'm not, I'm not. If not, you know, just leave it alone. So Cam was like, just chill. They keep going. He keeps pretty much like trying to say stuff to Stat, like, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, Stat, can you smile? Oh, how much do you weigh, Stat? And so now this is where I'm gonna give him some bail, right? The first time Cam said, bro, you gotta stop. I told you. You don't do that. Niggas' boyfriends is in the green room or whatever, and like you need to chill. And at the end of the day, he's like, oh no, my bad. He's like, no, you need to chill because I told you that nigga's boyfriend is here, and that's my sister. So we gotta stop. He says, okay. Then they keep going, and clearly Adrian was like drunk, high, all that. It was very obvious that he was not centered. And so, like, they tried to keep, like, you know, like, moving through it. And I also want to say, when people are like, oh, well, Stat laughed or whatever, that's crazy. Anybody who says that is not a woman. Because if you're a woman, it was a nervous chuckle. There's a lot of times that when men hit on you and you do not know what to do, it is a nervous chuckle, because what else am I supposed to do? I've asked you nicely to stop and you keep going, so what else am I supposed to do? Yes, it's a nervous chuckle, a nervous laughter. Anyway, so they tried to like kind of push through it, but then he said like again back to back like, oh my gosh, Dad, you're just so beautiful. When Cam is actually asking him questions, he's ignoring Cam to keep saying stuff to Stat. So eventually Cam was like, bro, you gotta go because you're violating. I told you to stop. I told you niggas whose boyfriends was here and you gotta go. So what I will say to that is I reposted that. I said, I don't really agree with Cam on much, but I do appreciate like kicking that nigga out because it's only but so much that niggas could take. I feel like that's low-key what's going on with the whole Molly Q of it all with First Take, but that's another situation for another day. But yeah, I appreciate the way that Cam handled it. He was like, bro, I'm gonna pay you for your time. And he was like, but you gotta go because you cannot do that here. Now, the only criticism to that, like I said, was that people felt like Cam kept saying niggas' boyfriends is here and you're violating versus being, and I, just to kind of explain why people are upset about that or criticizing that, is because it came off to people like Cam was saying, you need to stop flirting with her because her boyfriend is here versus you need to stop flirting with her because it's inappropriate and she's uncomfortable and it's disrespectful. It came off like he kept leaning on the fact that her boyfriend is here, her boyfriend is here, her boyfriend is here. And it's more so like, oh, you're disrespecting him because her man is here versus you just disrespecting her, period. Like I said, the reason I shoot him some bail is because in the extended clip, he did start off by saying, I told you niggas' boyfriends is back there. But he did say, and that's my sister. So that's where I'm going to cut him some bail. But I do understand people saying that. Because at the end of the day, whether her boyfriend was there or not, and most people are like, who is that baby's boyfriend? Now, mind you, I'm going to be very clear. The only reason I know about any of these kids is because I be on TikTok or whatever. So she dates, I believe his name is Chris. And he is like he's like one of them Twitch guys. I don't know if he's under the whole Kai Cenat umbrella, but I know that he be over there with them. So she dates him. I be seeing their little TikToks and stuff. They're really cute together. So yeah. Point is, it was disrespectful. I'm glad he kicked him out. Don't bring your ass up here and make any of the female women feel uncomfortable being up here at all. Then let's slide again, still within the Rockefeller world. I'm going to do a separate video on this though because there's an interview that Jay-Z just did and I want to read the article live here with y'all and I'm going to go through it. But if y'all don't know, Jay-Z and I don't know, some other people were they made a pitch to pretty much have a casino in the middle of Times Square. When I'm telling you, that sounds like the worst idea. That sounds like the worst idea. I do agree that Times Square has lost its pizzazz. But can I really be honest about why that is? Because y'all price, okay, look, I'm about to get on my New Yorker shit for a second. Even though I'm here in Pittsburgh, I'm still a New Yorker through and through. I go up there multiple times. I'm from there, raised there. Don't play with me. This is my whole thing about it. Y'all have taken the pizzazz and the lights and the glamour out of Times Square. And mostly it's because y'all have literally outpriced everybody. I knew it was bad when they said the Toys R Us in the middle of Times Square was closing down because they couldn't afford rent. Because they could not afford rent. You're talking about Toys R Us. I know that they don't have them anymore, but the fact that would have been like one of the only ones still open would have made it even like more special to me. That Toys R Us was such a motherfucking staple in Times Square. How dare y'all? And then the fact that, okay, cool. Like in the mid-2010s or whatever, y'all decided to put them steps or whatever in the middle of Times Square. Cool, y'all put it there so that people could take pictures or whatever. Because when I was growing up, wasn't none of that shit in the middle of Times Square. It was just like a long ass barrier, and you saw all the lights and stuff like that. I'm cool with the middle part being there because I think it makes sense. It's giving more room to be open. But y'all did nothing outside of that. And more importantly, like I said, I'm not mad at trying to spruce up 42nd Street, Times Square, because as Park said, the M&M store can only hold you there but so long, okay? The Hershey store can only hold you there but so long. I understand that. However, putting a casino in the middle of Times Square sounds like one of the worst ideas I've ever heard for so many freaking reasons. It's not necessary. A casino in the middle of Times Square is just not necessary, bro. There's so many other things that you guys can do within Times Square to spruce it up outside of a casino. Mostly, I'm not even trying to be funny, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that Times Square, I know if you live in New York, you're full of shit, but I'm telling you from the outside looking in. From the outside looking in, New York City, Times Square, it's seen more as like a family-friendly ass place where the whole family can go and you know, like sightsee, or like schools and stuff like that. Like, it's a really big place for everybody to come. It's not like Vegas where it's mostly gonna be adults that's here. And what you're trying to do is pretty much turn Times Square into pretty much like a fucking adults playground, when New York City itself, it has enough mini freaking little devil playgrounds throughout New York City that they can do. You don't need to make the center of the city based, and then the way that this gambling addiction is right now in this country, no, I'm sorry, I'm off my soapbox. So all I have to say is that they put in a bid for that casino and they were told no promptly, 4-2. I don't know why, but I'm very happy that they said that. It's the same bullshit that Jay-Z tried to pull when he was trying to act like he was the daggone owners of the Nets and pushing it to the rest of us like he the one who owns the team. Come to find out, he owns 0.2% of the team, and then the minute that they closed that damn deal, he fucking sold his shares. We're gonna have a conversation about Jay-Z and his politics. Don't worry, we're gonna do it separately. Anyway, final thing to talk about, because I gotta go get my kid. Sweetie. Sweetie. Sweetie was on, I think Nessa, who is Colin Kaepernick's, I believe, wife or fiance, whatever she is to him, no disrespect, radio show, whatever. And she was just talking to Sweetie about, what are things that you've had to deal with in the industry? Do you feel like people count you out at times? And she was like, I was on TikTok, which anytime somebody, listen, it's nothing wrong with saying I was on TikTok, but it's like, when that's the preceding, like when that comes before what you're about to talk about, that's how I know, girl, just know. But anyway, she was like, I was on TikTok and I saw somebody was like, say, they always talk about pretty privilege, but they don't ever talk about pretty punishment. And I love how Nessa's over freaking dramatic ass is like, Talk about that. Talk about that. And she was like, yeah, I just feel like it's an agenda. I know that certain people have certain motivations, and there's been so many doors that's been closed in my face, and I know what it is. Da, da, da. This is my thing. Oh, sweetie, 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 sweetie. You are not being punished with like maybe your music not being successful, your music career in general not being successful because you're pretty. You have any semblance of a music career because you're beautiful. That's literally how you're sustaining. Sweetie mostly sustains on her brand deals. That's mostly how she sustains. But because you cannot tell me that music is what's dragging, is what's bringing in the bag for Sweetie. Ain't no way. It's all of those brand deals that she got. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but the point of the matter is the reason anybody's even willing to give you a chance in music is because you're pretty. The only reason you were able to walk through the door is because of the fact that you were pretty. Please do not sit in our face and fucking play. Nobody is saying I'm not listening to Sweetie because she's a pretty girl. Your music, this is no shade at all. She loves to say, in all the few fans that Sweetie got, they love to say, oh, because Sweetie makes music for pretty bitches. Okay, this is my thing. And this is not trying to be like ageist or anything, because me and Sweetie, I don't think we that. How old is Sweetie? Me and Sweetie ain't that off as far as being like in age or whatever, right? Sweetie gotta be like in her early 30s. How old is Sweetie? Yeah, she was born a year before me. She was born in 93. I was born in 94. And again, so I'm not trying to be ageist because I'm only 1 year younger than her. But it's like, the music that Sweetie makes, it sounds like high school music. It sounds like somebody said, kid bop, teeny bopper ass music. It don't even sound like like Cardi and Meg, they make like, fun club music. But it sounds like grown ass women shit. It sounds like I'm a grown woman throwing this ass in a circle. Sweetie, it always comes off like she's 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. And like I said, it's also so very teeny boppy. I also don't know sometimes what Sweetie wants to do. Like, it kind of comes off to me like she wants to be Doja Cat a little bit, in the sense of she wants to be able to like rap somewhat, but also sing somewhat, but then also be in a pop lane. Like it seems like she wants to do that. I would encourage Sweetie to lean more, if you're gonna do music, which I don't think that you should, because it ain't good. But if you're gonna continue to do music, I would say lean more into the poppy pop of it all. Try to do that. That might work. But in all reality, I think Sweetie needs to quit doing music, become a model like the rest of us told her to, and continue to get your marketing brand deals your brand deals, and call it a day. But please get out of our face with the daggone pretty please. Please, Sweetie. Please. But yeah, that's all that I have for y'all today. Like I said, I'll be here later to review the Cardi album or to react. Again, if y'all would like me to just put up a link to a Patreon, where y'all can watch the full thing unedited, let me know in the comments and I can do that. Otherwise, I'm going to do my best on here. But I'm out of here. I got to go. See y'all later. Bye.